It implies that the therapist has miraculous powers of effecting therapeutic changes in the patient and disregards the fact that therapy results from an inner resynthesis of the patient's behavior achieved by the patient himself or herself. The power is not in the therapist, folks. It's in the client's unknown capacity, certainly unknown to both therapist and client, what this power of resynthesis is. But the locus of the work is inside the client. This is very important to understand right in the beginning. Because the primary stress of the psychotherapist, actually a psychotherapist of all schools, is what? The primary stress of the psychotherapist I found in my teaching to all therapeutic groups around the world, all cultures, it's always the same story. The therapist is supposed to have the primary responsibility for effecting the cure. The therapist is supposed to be a know-it-all somehow, an all-powerful individual who can effectively, in some way, read the person's mind and somehow give instructions to those trillions of cells within the client's brain on how to behave. Of course, that's an impossible task, and yet that's the underlying assumption of all schools of therapy. And that's where the stress, the hidden stress, comes to us as therapists. We have an impossible ideal to live up to. So what's the alternative to that ideal? Well, the beginning of an alternative, a more adequate point of view, is right here in this paper on hypnotic psychotherapy, and the basic idea that the power is not in the therapist having a miraculous power of effecting therapeutic changes. Rather, therapy results from the inner resynthesis of the patient's behavior achieved by the patient himself. Wow, what a shift.